Good morning, Mark.
Good morning, Joel.
Well, we have a great day today in that we're introducing, as you know, our new community to what we feel will be our audience of subscribers and those who like us. And what do you say we begin by just bringing up our logo?
Okay, perfect. Let's introduce ourselves to the community.
Okay. And, we have the logo in several parts. Each one has a specific meaning. We have health and independence. Then we have your topic, which is safety and security, among technical things.
And our topic, friends and family.
That's right. We're together. We're both friends
Quality of life.
and quality of life. Certainly.
Perfect.
Okay. So here we are, and let's get going. Well, what do you say, Mark, as we introduce our community?
Yeah, let's go and
The
let's talk
senior
about
power-
what we're going to do today.
All right, let's do that. All right. So let's see, the first one. Why do we even have this community? There's a lot of stuff on the web. There's a lot of stuff all over the place on YouTube. But I think that you will see that this is somewhat different.
Not only different, but the world always changes. There's always new things, and new challenges outside, new technologies that are coming in and starting to influence society. So you need to be up to date with what's happening
Hey,
in order to stay safe.
I agree 100%. And then, of course, it might be nice if we introduce each other.
Yep, we'll do that in a couple of slides.
Okay, and a special guest, as a matter of fact.
Exactly.
Okay, and then we're going to go somewhat in depth to give an overview of the community,
Perfect.
as well as what its needs.
Yep.
And what we're going to address. And then we're going to talk about what we consider to be truly the first episode. This is just introduction. The first episode, we get down and dirty, and we're going to discuss what you can look forward to seeing next.
Perfect. So we'll probably spend roughly 20 to 30 minutes right now introducing the community, running through what we're all about, what resources we're bringing to the community, and what's going to happen next.
Exactly. And then, of course, we're going to have questions and answers. And this is very important to us because we want to keep this as a very interactive type of thing. And finally, we want to talk about, and everybody has to have it, and I know people are tired of hearing it, but this costs a lot of money to put together. Let me be very frank with you, and a lot of our time. And we just want to basically break even from this whole thing. So we really ask you to subscribe to our community. I think you'll find it worthwhile. All right, everyone. Let me bore you a little bit by introducing myself. As mentioned before, my name is Joel, and believe it or not, we just celebrated our 57th wedding anniversary, my wife and I, and we had a really nice time with my son and the grandchildren. I do like to travel. I like to read. Some people say I'm pretty good at cooking, and I do like to work, and I believe that you get into big trouble once you stop working. Maybe that's something we should all consider. As you will see, I am an academic by nature, and I am definitely a member of the Senior Power community. Uh, I was born and I was brought up in New York City, in Brooklyn, as you could tell from my accent, but I have lived in Colorado, and right now we're in Arizona. My education, for better or for worse, is rather extensive. I went to Stuyvesant High School, which was and is a highly specialized high school for nerds in New York City. And then I got my bachelor's degree from what is known as the poor man's Harvard, the City College of the City University of New York. And I did my PhD at the State University of New York at Albany. So I am a product of the state. I've been a professional consultant for more than half a century. Yeah, oh my God, with clients in government, non-governmental organizations, and in commerce. And I specialize in areas of security, basically for the government, and on the commercial side as well as on the government side. in healthcare and related specialties.
Hello, everyone. As we said, I'm Mark. I'm going to introduce myself as well. I'm on the verge of the senior community, not all the way there yet, but just approaching retirement. But what makes me, the biggest thing that makes me part of the senior community is that I am what is commonly characterized as the sandwich generation. So I support my 94-year-old mother, God bless her, who is in great health, but continues to need active support both in financial and daily and health issues. So this is near and dear to my heart, everything that we're doing here. Not directly related to Joel, but Joel and I have a very, very close relationship and are now part of the same community. I specialized a lot in technology throughout my career, and the current focus that I've had is on artificial intelligence. And one of the things that drew me to participating with Joel in this community is very, very few people are taking the artificial intelligence that's available today that is creating a lot of activity and a lot of development, a lot of change, and applying it to the senior community. And I don't want the senior community to miss out because it's in some respects scary, but in some respects it is so transformational and powerful. I want to make sure that you guys have the opportunity to leverage it and understand it and not be afraid of it, but instead improve your quality of life by using artificial intelligence. I've been in the industry 30 plus years, still on the rear side of the career, but still active. Computer engineering degree in electrical engineering and a focus on privacy and cybersecurity that got me involved in both the security side as well as the artificial intelligence side of what we're talking about, because it's important to also realize there's a lot of threats out there and things that we need to be careful of.
I'm ready.
All right, and next we'd like to introduce Amy. Amy's our AI companion. As we said, AI for the senior community is important to us, and we want to both leverage the AI in our conversation, but we also want you to experience what it's capable of. So Amy, can you introduce yourself?
Hello, everyone. I'm Amy, an AI companion here to support our senior community. I specialize in improving the quality of life for seniors, drawing from my background in sociology. I'll be here to provide insights and answer any questions you might have. Looking forward to our conversation.
Perfect. Thank you, Amy.
You're welcome. Happy to be part of it.
All right, let's continue on and introduce more detail into what we're going to cover and how we help the community. So again, our goal is to empower, so that's where we come up with senior power. We obviously want to be a community, but we want to improve quality of life and understand what all the different aspects are of doing that improvement in quality of life.
Right, and basically, quality of life is a sum total of all the different areas that we're going to be speaking about.
Absolutely.
Over time.
So to put it lightly, we live in interesting times. Things change all the time. I don't know that I've ever seen things change as fast as they are changing right now. In terms of our environment, our political situation, our social situation, the technology that's moving through. So everything needs to be dynamic. Whatever we knew last week, we need to know new things next week and keep being part of these changes and not get left behind or be confused by them. And that involving critical. Why? Because there's risks and safety issues involved, as well as health issues involved, critical issues, but also timely issues. Things pop up all the time, and we want to be able to come in and say, hey, here's what's happened in society. Here's what it means for us in the senior community and the issues that we care about. Lastly, independent. We're not sponsored. We don't have an alliance with particular people. So, we're here to basically bring a intelligent and, independent representation of some of these issues.
And basically, we are not pressured to give one point of view or another. And one thing I wanted to add to this, as you saw at the top, we are living in interesting times. And a lot of you may know where this quote comes from. But for those who may not, let me share it. This was given by in ancient times by a Chinese general, and he said it as a curse. And the curse was, you should live in interesting times, which means times of high complexity and many, many issues. So just to second what Mark has said, we are indeed living in interesting times.
All right, let's keep rolling along.
All right, guys and gals, let me take you through our process. And there's a very, very good reason why I am, or we are spending time here to understand how we get our information. A lot of times you will see podcasts and whatever which are based upon opinion only. We certainly have our opinions, and there's nothing we can do to keep it out, since being, I guess, we're human. But we do have a well-defined process. And the process begins by allowing questions to be asked in order for us to understand why things occur. And we call that research. I'm sure we've all heard of that. And from this research, all we get is raw data. Between you and I, in the form that it's in, it's practically useless. So when one goes ahead and collects all these articles or listens to all these YouTube videos and so forth, and doesn't put a filter on it, all you have is raw data. What is needed is analysis. We have to take that raw data and we have to understand what it means. Yes, so there is a little bit of opinion that is expressed there, but we consider ourselves somewhat experts in this area, and therefore we allow ourselves to give an interpretation. From that interpretation comes knowledge, and this is what we're after, this knowledge. And then we have, to our knowledge, we add our experience, because what we want in the end, something that is called actionable information. Actionable information means that after this process to this point, we have the information upon which we can trust and then go ahead and take action, as it says. And that gives us the understanding. So we've gone from raw data to interpretation to experience, and we've added understanding, and we're sort of hitting the mark here. Okay, now what? Well, it's great that we have the information and the understanding, but we got to do something with it, and we have to understand how to implement it, and we will give suggestions on how that needs to be done. And what's the result? What's the result, Mark?
Better quality of life.
Right.
Now, Joel, you know from our conversations coming into this that I looked at this slide and I go, oh my God, this is a scientist. And of course, you know, I also got a background as an engineer, so it's not far from my own. But you don't have to be into this level of detail or understand this, you know, each step of this. You just have to understand that we show it because it gives credibility. It says that we're not just making it up, that we're doing it based on our experience and our background and our skill set. But applying it to this area of, you know, the different issues that are impacting seniors and how we can help.
Right. Great. Thank you for pointing that out. And as you can see at the bottom of the slide, we want to give you the correct and defensible basis to assist you in making your informed decisions.
All right. So especially in this environment that we have now where everybody has an opinion and those opinions may or may not be grounded in anything, but even more than just opinions, oftentimes based on where people are coming from and, you know, their financial backing and their own self-interest, they have a particular agenda to achieve. So one of the things that we strive to, you know, as Joel said, we're people, but what we're striving to do in this community and our podcasts and our tools that we bring to you is to try to not interject, you know, bias or, you know, a specific agenda behind it, but actually bring as clean and independent of an understanding and let you apply your own experience and your own background so that you can make the right decisions that make sense for you, and others will make different decisions that affect them. Hit it again. So Joel, when I see this, I see just a lot of material on this slide. There's lots of bullet points, lots of things, and it's almost a little bit overwhelming. But take us through, our approach and why all of these are relatively important to the community.
Sure, I'd be very pleased to do that. Look, the quality of life area that we are going to present to our community is a summing up of all the other areas, so that we understand in the end what our overarching goals, and that is not just to maintain, but also to improve our quality of life.
So when we look at all of these different topic areas and bullet points, these are just representative examples of the things that you can expect to see in our coverage and our approach to life, coming at it from different aspects and different areas.
Exactly. We don't have to read the whole thing to you. I think that you could see it on the slide, and all these are quite important.
Yep.
I think at this point it's important for you and to understand where we're coming from and what you're going to gain. Why are you here, right? So in terms of quality of life, we are scheduling the following episodes in this area. The first is legacy, purpose, and a reflection on our own lives. And you'll see the word legacy, which is, of course, what we hope to exist after we aren't. And it's become a very difficult thing today to maintain. And Mark, why don't you say a few words about that?
Well, I think on a broader scale, as things are changing and sometimes we get confused, sometimes we need more support, but we can't rely on the same things that have always worked for us, because everything about our life is changing, both for ourselves and for society and for our caregivers and our family. That an important piece of it is to understand the mindset behind it and the psychology behind it, not at a technical level, but more on how do I respond to this? How do I keep my positive outlook on life so that I enjoy and have the quality of life that I'm looking for? And that involves that social connection, the hobbies. It involves the mindset of being older but not over, for example, but also, protecting our legacy and how we're represented as time goes on.
Very good, and that's exactly what I was going to say. Some of the other one or two at the bottom, and those in no particular order, is that we're going to have episodes for our caregivers, because they are part of the community and they are very much involved in our lives, and we should provide them with support as well. And then finally, please remember this. We might be older, but I think as this podcast shows, it ain't over for us.
All right, so let's move on to health and independence. Obviously, one of the most important elements. All of them are important, but health and independence, as we age, the issues start to change and start to become more significant for us. One of the things I want to do is bring Amy back in to share some of her ideas and some of her perspectives on health and independence. Can you chime in right now, Amy, and share your thoughts?
Absolutely. Maintaining health and independence is crucial for seniors. It involves managing chronic conditions, staying active, and ensuring a safe living environment. Independence also means having social connections and access to resources that support daily living. It's all about balancing physical well-being with social and emotional health to lead a fulfilling life.
To build on what Amy is saying, these are basically a list of very important episodes which are coming up. As a matter of fact, the first one is one that we will begin this series right after this introduction. But we don't need to read this to you. It has a wide variety of topics. Some are in the health area, which is basically obvious, but then there's also some of the independence. When I know that when seniors come to a car dealership, the salesmen are smacking their lips. Let's not get into that type of environment.
All right, so now moving on to safety and security, an area near and dear to my heart, simply because I've been working in cybersecurity, and it's such a intriguing but dangerous area out there, and seniors, unfortunately, are direct targets of many bad people trying to do bad things, trying to
Absolutely,
steal
yeah.
money, trying to trick them into doing various things. So it's an important element for us to understand, our safety from a financial and cybersecurity standpoint, but also things to represent our physical safety. Protecting our homes, protecting our materials, addressing the unique vulnerabilities that seniors have. Right, and then on the security side, making sure that we understand these vulnerabilities that are out there. I'll tell you one thing right now: the IRS will never call you. So if you ever get somebody representing that they're from the IRS and they're trying to help you, they are not. Whenever somebody's asking for money, ask somebody else for help, because it's probably not going to be a legitimate thing. So there's very simple rules of thumb that you can apply. Nobody's going to want gift cards from you, and your grandchildren aren't going to call you out of the blue asking and saying they're in trouble and you need to send money. Things along those lines, they fall into the security standpoint, whether they're electronic security or just phone fraud, that we want to cover, make you aware, because awareness and diligence is what keeps us safe. All right, just a handful of the topics and areas that might be coming up in our coverage of safety and security. Obviously, we already talked a little bit about financial fraud and internet fraud, but it's also simple things like fall prevention at home and away. I have personal experience with that, trying to help my mom organize her house so that she has handrails and has various, physical support systems.
Falls are certainly a really critical thing that we all
so dangerous as you get into the older age.
Particularly in the bathroom.
Yep.
Very, very careful.
But then awareness of elder abuse and home security and things along those lines that will help you stay safe.
Again, our purpose is to empower you to not just maintain, but overall to improve your quality of life. And now we come perhaps to the most touchy of all topics, Mark.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sure you've experienced this as well. And it's tough for everybody. And that's friends and family. And what we're going to talk about, to be very frank, and we are very frank, is the good, the bad, and the ugly that we have to face, and perhaps suggestions on how we can make the best of it. So what are they? Yeah, money, and more money. How to maintain our independence, because our kids will always try to become the parents and us the children. How do we deal with loss and gain of loved ones? Like, for example, when a baby is born, how do we become involved and make ourselves relevant? And something which is rather difficult as you get older is making and keeping a friend. So we had the belief that this becomes very difficult because other people are afraid of us dying halfway in the middle of our conversation.
Right. Well, and interestingly enough, obviously as humans, we're all social beings, and we need to maintain friends, and the friend and family relationships change as we age. This loss and gain of loved ones hits home for me because my mom shared with me, and again, she's 93 years old. She shared with me that as she gets older, fewer and fewer of her friends and family are still around.
Yeah.
As you reach those elder ages, and she has to deal with that sense of loss as she continues to go. And it never really occurred to me before that the longer you live, the more you're going to experience the people around you aren't making it as long.
And then we also have, which develops over time, these family feuds internally with different parts of the family. Mother's side, father's side, everybody.
Well,
so this is
and partly because of all the other issues that we've been talking about, from security to safety to health issues and maintaining independence.
Exactly. All right. So briefly, what type of upcoming episodes can we expect? And in terms of friends and family, again, it's rather self-explanatory. One of the most important ones, as I sort of introduced on the previous slide, was how do we navigate the dynamics within a family? I think this will become very interesting for all of us.
Whenever you're ready.
All right, let's continue to share what we have in mind as far as our tools and resources to help the senior community with our senior power. We're bringing you the podcast, which is what we're doing here. Podcast we use in a general term to include, YouTube videos, presentation slides, etc. That'll allow us to talk to you and bring live content and interact. We also have a website that we have developed, and we'll share the URL with you. And as I have described before, one of our missions is to make sure that seniors and the senior community has access to AI because it's impacting society so significantly, and we don't want the senior community to miss out on some of these benefits. So, Amy, I wonder if we can bring you in again and talk about AI in general and what's happening, and then how it could be applied for the seniors in this community.
Absolutely. AI is transforming many aspects of society, offering tools that can enhance daily life, provide quick access to information, and improve health management. For seniors, AI can offer personalized assistance, simplify daily tasks, and ensure they stay connected with loved ones. It's all about empowering independence and well-being.
Amy, can you comment real quickly on, let's say 3 to 5 areas where AI is already in front or being leveraged, and people may or may not even be aware of it?
Sure. AI is already present in areas like virtual assistants for home automation, health monitoring devices, personalized education reminders, fraud detection in banking, and even in customer service chatbots. These tools help make daily life simpler and safer.
And even yourself. So thank you for participating, Amy.
Okay, let me just add one thing. I think that this is very unique, our community that we put together, because very few, if any, don't have these 3 elements, because they support each other and make the experience much more robust for the entire community. Hi, yeah, so now we're going to take you through a tour of the website. Fine. Time waits for no man.
Yeah, it needs to be edited.
Yeah, it does. I will do that. Yeah, but I want to go to one part.
Right now it just looks like your
arrows
kind of meandering around.
I know, yeah.
Maybe there's some audio behind it that I don't hear. I don't
know.
No,
there is. So I will put in anyway. I'm going to shorten this, but I just want to walk people through the areas, and you could read it pretty much on the regular screen up there. Okay. Health. This is more in depth. The purpose of the website is to provide backup and depth to the podcast.
Yep. Tell people that.
Okay. Yes. Select health.
So it seems like you're going to want to have some type of a narrative.
Yes, there will be.
Narrative overlay during this
Yes,
video. You can
absolutely.
record while the video is playing.
Yes, you can. Okay. Now we're going to go to the intro. This is going to take a little bit long. Okay. But here is your okay. Here is your application working. And this is the way I use it. I'm going to go back. Okay. All right. Watch. So right now I'm copying it in like that. It works pretty well. I put everything in alphabetical order. Okay. There it goes. And we can have a voiceover here. We don't know. but this is going to be improved further. And this might take a little bit of time, but it's well worth looking at. And this is how we use artificial intelligence to give a very, very detailed and independent, totally independent assessment of how one might gather the actionable information to use, whether it be your support community or yourself, in terms of finding nursing homes, rehabilitation facilities, physical therapy, and facilities and providers such as that. You can see it working right now, and it's actually going out and collecting information from all over the place, not just from the provider's website. I want to make that very, very clear. And here we are. That didn't take that long. If you see at the top, if you remember, you'll see a scale in terms of where they fall out in the opinion of the AI. And I think this is very much in depth, and you could print this out for your records as well. Okay? All right, so that's that. This we don't want to show. All right, so let's go. Let's stop this. Well, we're getting toward the bitter end of this. Thanks for staying around.
Bitter end.
Bitter end.
No, it gets better as we roll along.
Okay. So, we've selected two areas, one in health and independence and the other in safety and security, as the actual let's get together and work episodes. And the first one will be what we call Medicare 101. I'm sure everybody thinks they know or does know or doesn't know. We'll find out what the heck Medicare is on a high level. And I think that even though you may be very experienced in it, you may want to listen to this one. And we certainly would like your feedback from those of you who are aware. Just to mention, for several reasons, I used to be an agent in this area, so I do.
But you've hit the daily limit for advanced voice. You can switch to standard
That was
now
30.
to keep chatting.
That's all right. Okay. And the second is senior targeted scams. And as you can see in the image, Uncle Scam wants you.
All right, so it's time for our summary and finish up for the day. But this is the start, not the finish. It's only finish for the day. Go ahead and click to the next slide. Obviously, our hope is to become part of the community, and in order to do that, we have to form a community, and that involves you. So if you could, please like and subscribe to the content. Please participate. Tell people about it, but mostly just show up, watch the content, interact, and see if you get value. As time goes on, we'll figure out if there's other things that we should be doing to help expand what we're doing and continue to serve you on a more broad basis.
All the Q&A, you can leave comments down below in the space provided, and we promise to get back to you as soon as we can with complete answers as possible. And please, again, like we did in the beginning, we would appreciate you to like and subscribe to this site. It's very important to us so that we can keep going. Thank you again, and we look forward to seeing you in the next episodes.
Bye-bye.